Alright, this video is a basic instruction video of how to set up our Geomagic ControlX automation server and client setup. And the point of this is so you can automate the control of CX, where CX will watch a folder and look for a file, and once a file hits that folder, it'll grab it and inspect it and then spit out the inspection results to another folder. And this can work across a network, and it can work with multiple files, and it can also work with scan process routines as well. Today I'm just going to show a basic inspection of a single part scenario. The first thing I would do is I have this folder that's called my CX automation folder setup, and this is kind of like my vanilla folder structure that I'll drag to the computer that I want to set up. And it has to have a communication folder. This export PLY is an extra folder. We don't actually need that. Monitor, that's the folder it's going to look at. Output is where it's going to spit out the results. Templates, that is the file location of the inspections, as you can see this little icon here. And then a CSV is a settings file that's going to direct the automation server what files are in the template folder to look at and pair with the scan data. So the first thing you need to do is look for where the Geomagic ControlX automation server and client tools are, and those are actually in the install directory. So program files, 3D systems, ControlX beta. I'm running a beta right now, and I open both of these. So they're separate executables, and since I'm doing it all on one computer, I'm opening both the server and the client. So once they open, I'll just go ahead and clear this out here. This is what you will see. I have my client and my server. I'm going to go ahead and go to the options. It may open with the options automatically at the beginning. This is actually where we're going to do most of the setup. So I'm going to tell it that I need to do a single source or a single part. You can do multi-source, which is a slightly different, where you can have it look at a folder and figure out which inspection to run based on what hits that folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is just establish my monitoring folder. So I'll just point it to the monitoring folder. Then I point it to my template folder. Template is going to be the inspection file that we want to use from CX. So you have to open CX, create an inspection, and then save that file as a template in here. Just save the CX file, and I just usually remove the scan data from it and then save it. Now the identification rule is a little bit interesting. By default, you can point to any CSV from here, but if you say edit identification rule, it's going to open Excel in order to edit the CSV file. So what this is going to do is just tell the automation server what it's looking for file-wise. So you can have many template files. So right now I just have my Partifact, and I'm telling it I need the Partifact file. Any STL that hits the monitoring folder, use the result data 1. So there are multiple result options inside of these guys. So I'm telling it that you need to take that STL and run result number 1 and execute it. And I just leave this as true with related result. So now when I go to close this, it'll ask me to save it, and it's going to tell me, do I want to save it as an CSV, because obviously Excel wants to override its file extension. So I'm going to tell it not to save and point it to the one that I created, which is just that one Partifact. And then I'm going to tell it a communication folder. Boom. There. I can tell it save the model file And then what report do I want it to save out? I'm going to tell it I want it to save out a 3D PDF, and then tell it where to put those. And that's all you actually need to really change. So if you hit apply, you've set everything up. So now I say start server and then connect to server. So it's going to connect to server. Oh, one thing that I left out, I forgot to say. When you open this up, in order to start the server, you actually have to put your computer name in. So if you go to your About This PC and whatever your company or you have set your computer name to be, this is mine, you have to plug that in here so it knows which computer is on the client. So I'll go ahead and hit start, connect. So now I'm live right now. So if I go over to my monitor folder, and I'm just going to drag in a scan, and you'll see, because I dragged in a scan, it goes ahead and opens up control. And I have multiple monitors. It's opening control on the other screen actually. So it's going to open control, run the report, and then the file should show up in output when it's done. So I'm just going to sit here and wait while it runs. So you'll notice that the monitor folder is now empty. So if I go over to output folder, I've run this a couple times now, so you'll see that I have the Partifact PDF there. So if I just open this one, and I told it to save the project file as well. So there's the report. So that's an overview of the automation server process.